All right, guys, we've got a pre-made e-bike review here. Going to go over the Electric Bike Company, an American company, which is a very rare thing these days. Their Model Y. This is the premium version of the Model Y. You might be looking at the Model Y and you see this one and you're like, this one looks a little bit different. This is the premium version. It's the Twisted Guava. I think it's like their special edition. I'll get more into that though, but it's based on the Model Y. And I'm going to do a review on this bike. You know, if you're looking for this bike, if you're looking for a comfort cruiser, I'm going to do a performance test on this. I'm going to do some hill climbing on it. I'm going to rate this front to back over quality, value, all that stuff, how comfortable it is, who I think this bike is for. And if you're new to this channel, I'm Johnny Nerd Out. I build custom e-bikes. I also sell custom e-bike components, motors, batteries, all the sensors, all the components you're going to want to need. So if you're curious about that, head over to johnnynerdout.com. I also do consultations. If you're looking at building a bike or buying a bike and you just don't know where to start, it can be overwhelming to navigate this jungle. Go to johnnynerdout.com. You can also book a consultation there. I'll help you make a good decision and save you a buttload of money. Now, if you're not familiar with the Electric Bike Company, check out my other videos by them. You can search my channel. I did a tour of their facility, their new Fremont facility in California. It's really cool how they operate. I really like how they do business. They're just a pretty cool company. Yes, this is world parts. You know, a lot of places are like made in America using globally sourced materials. And that's what almost every single person does. Ford does it. I mean, there's no such thing as sourced in America and built in America. I mean, it's very hard to do that. But ideally, that's what you'd like to see. But yes, this is globally sourced materials made in America. Okay, so let's get to the animal at hand. Let's just start. I'm going to go from the front to back on this bike, go over it, and just kind of give an overview, and then I'll get a little bit more in detail on that. How does that sound? Okay, so up front, they got 26 by 2.35 inch tires. These are big ballooners, which it's a comfortable ride. These act like their own suspension without having the suspension fork, which I'll get to in a second. These are e-bike rated. I believe they're Schwalbe tires, and they're e-bike rated. They're double-walled rims on here, so it's a solid wheel set. The rims, the spokes are 13 gauge. And these are e-bike rated tires. They're big ballooners. It's what this equates to is a very comfortable ride. You can see it's got the actual wood fenders on here. They're just actual wood fenders. And they actually make these in-house, which is really cool. I was able to see them make this, which is a pretty cool process. Up here, we've got the basket. And actually right here, the small part right here is the actual battery. You can see there's no battery anywhere else. They put it right here in the very bottom part of this basket. So yes, it does take up part of your cargo capacity, but it is the smallest part of it, and they still give you a generous sized basket. And then they have two headlights here, which is kind of interesting. When you turn on the light, this comes on, and then there's a high-low beam that you could turn both of these on. So if you want to have extra light, you could have your high beams, which is both lights, or just this top running light. And I like that they had the top light be the default one, and then when you have it on highs, both of them come on, just because I like having my headlight high as possible. So that was pretty smart. Underneath, they kind of ran all the wires from these two headlights, but it's super nice. You can't really see the cabling. And then all the cabling here is run down. They did a really good job routing these cables, and a lot of them are internally routed too through the tubes. Right through here, and then right through here. Going up front here, we've got the on-off switch, and it's weatherproofed right here. There's like a little rubber grommet on it, so rain can get on this. It's not going to get inside the switch to ruin it. You've seen a lot of power switches go bad on batteries just because grime gets in it, so that was nice. And they do have the 3-pin mini XLR charge port, which I like those ones. I'm a big fan of those. I like that that's the way that things are going. I also carry batteries that use these charge ports, and I really like those batteries over anything. We've got an adjustable stem here. This can go, down or up, forward if you're a smaller rider, or down or up. It's just up or down or forward or back. So it is nice. It's got the nice reach around handlebars. So I'll show you how it kind of looks. I'm 6 foot. This is what it kind of looks like. Kind of reminds me of like Wizard of Oz. kind of wrap around like that. It has nice vegan leather locking hand grips here, and it actually has their actual name brand on the grips, which is a nice little touch. It has actual Tektro Dorado hydraulic brakes, which is nice. I believe on the last Model E that I did, I think they were just regular generic brakes, so it's nice to see that they used top of the line brakes on this. They do have electronic brake cutoffs on this. Next on the cockpit is just like the toggle switch to control the display. It has an alarm system. This is actually the horn. It's a super loud horn. Like it's pretty crazy loud. It's almost too loud. And it has turn signals here, which is really nice. It activates your lights back here, and these lights are actually a brake light as well. So they're running lights when you have the lights on, brake lights, and their turn signals, which I really like that. I carry a kit that's similar to this, but I like that they're two separate lights. It's a little bit brighter. It's nice. And then over here is the high-low switch for your lights when it's turned on, your throttle. The display here, it's nice color display. It does have a USB output on it. I like that it shows you the actual voltage of your battery, not just 1 out of 4 bars. It does have your dummy bars though. It's like, hey, you got 1 out of 4 bars left. So it's like, that's a plus minus of 25%. Next to it, it says the actual voltage. So if you know your voltages, you'll know exactly where you're at. It has a temperature gauge, so you know if you're cold or not. If you weren't sure if you're cold or not, this way you'll know. Or if you're hot, this way you know for sure if you're hot. Pedal assist tells you your power, time, mileage, all that general stuff, which is nice. It does have a front suspension fork up here. It is a no-name, so it's not. It felt fine though. It does have a lockout on it, so it's not like a garbage one by any means. But it's not, a rock shocks. But this is a comfort bike. You don't need a rock shocks on it, in my opinion. You just need something that's not garbage. And these front forks are not garbage. And it looks like there is a preload adjustment as well here on the left side. So it's got lockout and preload adjustment. Big comfy seat. This is a beach cruiser, so you got to have a big comfy seat on this. And this thing is huge. It's bigger. It's bigger than my hand. It's probably 2 hands worth. That's how you measure a bike seat sizes in hands. And you can see they kept the wood trim going here. And this is actually wood trim. It's not like a print on. This is actual wood, pressed wood, stained and sealed. It's nice. And this is part of the, I think this is Twisted Gava, this paint. This is part of that premium package. This is the step up of the basic Model Y. This is the premium version of it. And with that, you get this slick paint. It's probably going to be polarizing for a lot of people. This like glittery purple guava. It's guava is what they call it, paint job. But it's interesting at the very least. Whichever camp you're in, you'll at least agree that it's interesting. Up front, this one comes with a single speed drivetrain. They do have an option for a 7-speed drivetrain on here. This is the multi-speed. For a beach cruiser, I don't know. I would probably try to go with the 7-speed, but if you want just convenience, like you want to have no drivetrain issues, you don't have to worry about shifting, you don't have to worry about keeping the derailleur adjusted or anything, go with the single speed. I will say though, I think this is an 18 tooth in the back, and I want to say this is like 52 up front. It's geared very tall, so if you're not using your battery, it's very hard to pedal this thing. Just on my limited riding around here on the pavement, you're not going to be hill climbing at all with this without a 7-speed back here. But the way that this is set up, this is meant for cruising with the motor and battery. They got the MIK rack back here, and the MIK stands for something cool. Oh, mounting is key. That's what the MIK stands for. And it's a very versatile rack, and it is a very good quality system that they use. There's a lot of accessories that you can mount on there, and it's secure. This one comes with a spring-loaded clamp bar, so you could, if you need to clamp some loose stuff down, you can. There is another light in the way back here, so there's plenty of lighting in the back here. And again, the all wood grain fender here. Very thick kickstand. That's one of the first things I noticed. Like, this thing sticks out. It sticks out very far. because it's big and it's thick and it's sturdy. I have total confidence in this kickstand. A lot of times they give you little dinky ones and they're an issue, but this is a nice kickstand. Usually kickstands aren't even notable. This kickstand is notable. Okay, let's go do a performance test where I'm going to hill climb. I call it the Widowmaker. I'd say it's about a 30-degree hill. You're probably not going to see this hill in the wild, but occasionally you will. But on this style bike, you're probably not going to be going to hills like this. So it's not super practical, but it's the same hill I test every bike on. So just to show you what this bike can do. I'm not going to do a top speed test on this because I found that on these pre-made e-bikes, when they're limited to 20 miles an hour, just throttle only, it kind of makes for a boring video in my opinion. So I didn't want to just film me going 20 miles an hour on a bicycle. You know what a 20 mile an hour bike rider looks like. Now you can program, this comes programmed to 20 mile an hour limit on pedal assist as well, but you can unlock it so that it'll go up to 28 miles an hour. But I believe it's also firmware locked to 28 miles an hour pedal assist. You could go faster if you were adding to it, but I don't know. Anyways, let's go do a performance test. Okay, so you can see, obviously, this thing is not a hill climber. It's a 48 volt. I believe this is a 750 watt motor. It's a hub motor. Hub motors are not great for hill climbing in general, unless you're getting up to like 72 volt systems. But this is not a hill climber. This is a beach cruiser. This is for if you're living in Florida, California, right near the beach, or even like Chicago, somewhere like that. If you're going on the lakefront, you're going to want to be riding around in something like this. You're not doing hills or off-road. You can do light gravel on this though. But the hill climbing, I needed to hit it at about 17 miles an hour at the very base. And it still technically didn't get up, but it got right to the top and then I just walked it over. So hill climbing, as long as you hit it with a decent head start, you should be able to get up any hill on this. Okay, so let's do, I'm going to do the rating on this. So I'm going to rate this bike in the following categories from 1 to 10. Performance, value for the money, ride quality, initial quality, like components, and design. So starting with design, I like the way this is designed. I don't know if there's anything else I would really change. I even like the fact that the battery's under here. I like the way that everything is wired. They really do a great job with quality, like just all the cable management here, running wires through here. A lot of thought was taken on making sure that there's nothing that's sloppy. And that's what you like to see. You like to see, even on a lot of these pre-made bikes, you see a lot of sloppiness. With custom e-bikes, it can be a little tricky on trying to make them look clean, but with pre-made bikes, you're like, okay, they should be designed with things in mind. And it's really good to see that this one was designed that way. So this one for design, I give it a 10. This is a great design bike. I really like it. Everything about this bike is a 10, design-wise. Performance, this bike is not a performance bike. This is a cruiser bike. This is what this is geared for. It's not supposed to be a commuter if you're driving for work. Now you could use this as these things, but it's not what it was designed to be. So performance, it was not designed to be a big performance, a hot rodder. And it shows, and it kind of, this specific model lacks in performance. So I would give it a 4 for performance. So if you're looking for something that is very performance based, you might want to keep looking. But if this bike checks all the other boxes, like comfort wise, this is the bike. And if you are looking for those things, performance is probably not going to be high on that list anyways. So take that with a grain of salt. Initial quality on components, I got no qualms with honestly anything on this bike. Even the crank arms are of good quality. A lot of times you'll see those Pro Wheel, super thin. They're made out of like aluminum foil. These are not. Everything is really good. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 for quality, for component quality. Ride quality, it's a very comfortable ride. I could see doing long rides on this because look at how upright I am. It's not crank forward, but it's still very relaxed. I would have liked to see a crank forward version of this. That would be super comfortable. But I like that my hands are up. I'm not, down, resting, put all that weight on my wrist, shoulders and all that. This is a very comfortable riding bike. So for ride quality, I'll give it a 9. It gets a 9 for ride quality as well. Value for the money, this is probably one of the more important ones. So the Model Y, as of this video being put out, and obviously check back, it starts at $19.99. That's for the pared down version of this. I don't think it comes with a lot of the bells and whistles. I'm not sure if it comes with the turn signals and all that, but it does come with an anti-theft alarm system, which is kind of interesting. Comes with these little key fobs, and it's loud. It's freaking loud. It's just cool. And this goes back to like the design, just the forethought of everything. They make it look in a nice package. But for value for the money, for $2,000, I'd probably give this, I'd give this like an 8.5, 9 for value for the money at $2,000 for the $2,000 version. This model is a $3,300 version because I think a lot of it has to do with the paint job and a couple of little upgrades here. Now this comes with the 48 volt 9 amp hour battery. This can be upgraded to the 18 amp hour. So it kind of depends on what trim you're getting. For $3,300, for me, honestly, the value goes down quite a bit. But there's diminished returns. You got to pay for getting all these upgrades and things like that. And you want to check with what they're offering because they're always changing these. And so I don't want to say something now and be outdated next week. So double check with them for prices and for what they're offering. But for $3,300, this is more of I would say a 5 or a 6 for value at $3,300. But for $2,000, it's more like an 8. I would give it an 8 for the $2,000 version. And I'm assuming that it's going to come with a few pared down things, but I'm still going to give it an 8. So who is this bike for? Like I said, this bike is for, I picture somebody in a casual, super casual rider. You're going when it's like 70, 80, 85 degrees outside. Nice day, sun is shining like it is here. And you want to go hit the beach. You want to hit the boardwalk. You want to go grab some lunch and bring it back. Put it right in here. You could put accessories back here. You could put a dog carrier. You could put a baby carrier. You could put all these things on there. Look at those shopping carts. A bunch of stuff on here, which is nice. You can make this a weekend trip. You could put this on the back of your RV and bring this to those beach towns that you're camping on. That's the person that I see really looking for this bike and that's really going to love riding this bike and owning it. If you were using this as a commuter, probably not. I wouldn't say this is an everyday rider unless you're just a super casual rider. But for the super casual rider, this is I think you're going to be really happy with it. It's comfortable right out of the box. And this thing comes almost fully assembled. All you got to do is straighten out the handlebars. It comes on a pallet. And if you've seen my other video, I show you the unboxing process. It comes in a pallet. You cut open the cardboard box, cut open all the straps, the protective straps, and straighten out the handlebars, and you're ready to ride. A lot of other bikes that I get, I got to put together the fenders. It's like an hour job to assemble these bikes. Not these. Anybody can do it themselves. 99.9% of people can do it themselves. The other good thing about this bike is that it is made for bigger riders. This has a 420-pound weight capacity on it. So if you're a bigger person and you're looking at bikes, the Day 6 is another bike that's built for bigger riders. This one could also handle bigger riders. The other thing that's interesting is these motors give you a 10-year warranty, which probably is the best in the industry. It's included in that price tag. You're paying for it, obviously. The battery is a 5-year warranty. Again, probably the best in the industry. You are paying for that though. Just like, I think Pedigo is another company that's offering these crazy warranties. But again, you do pay for it up front. This weighs about, I want to say it's about 55, 60 pounds. I think they have it at 56 pounds on their website. And I had my little scale and it was about the same, 55, 60 pounds. So you want to make sure you get a pretty heavy duty bike rack that can handle this if you're going to be transporting it and, you know, carrying it upstairs. You know, keep that in mind. Like, I would not want to be carrying this upstairs, especially like a flight or two. Oh, definitely not. They do have an optional GPS tracker to go with these bikes too, which is pretty cool. All right, I think that just about wraps up my review of this bike. Hopefully that answered questions. And if you're curious about getting this bike for yourself, if you want to build your own custom e-bike, take a bike that you already have and convert it into an e-bike, go to johnnynerdout.com. I can help you with the whole process of it. Otherwise, I'm happy to do these e-bike reviews of pre-made bikes because building your own bike is not for everybody, and a lot of people just want to have something sent to them, ready to go. And, you know, there's pros and cons of both. All right, hopefully that helped y'all. Have a good one. Thanks.